Shalom, shalom, family. It's your brother Chris, man, coming live from Houston, Texas. Man, I got a special guest today. I got my brother Phinehas from the Prince of Power. Man, join me live today, man. How you doing over there, Ock?
Doing good. All praises. All praises. Blessed to be here.
Man,
Blessed
all
to
praise
be
to the Most
on,
High.
brother.
Yes, Ock, man. It's been a little minute, man, as far as trying to get you on, but man, you're a busy man, Ock.
Yeah, I got you though. But yeah, we've been at it for a little second. But yeah, man, we got you locked in. We on here, man. We ready. We ready. All
Yes,
praises.
indeed. Man, yes, all praise to the Most High, man. I pray everybody's having a beautiful and blessed evening.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, man, we're gonna get into this thing. It's another edition of Can We Talk and Not Talk, and we got my brother Phoenix on here, and man, just starting off, man, just introduce yourself, man. Let the people know, who are you? Your platform, and just a little bit about your journey, coming into this walk and this truth.
I'm Brother Phinehas.
Shalom,
I'm over
Pastor.
the channel Prince of Power. And we used to have a group called Prince of Power Israelites, but we ended up merging into another group called Maccabean Revolt. Still wrestling with some doctrine issues with that before we can really just make everything merge and be smooth and be
Right.
it's never been done before. We never had. I ain't gonna say it never been done before. All right, but because there have been some mergers, but they kind of been on point with a lot of things. This is the first time probably where someone is merged, and we got some major differences and things that we have to work out.
Right.
But still trying to work through that. Definitely finna get back out here on these highways and byways. So you're gonna be seeing more content like that within the next month or so. Um, I've been in this thing maybe I don't know anywhere between 10, 15 years. You kind of just lose track.
Right.
But when we initially started, well, I'll give you from the beginning.
Okay.
Um, I was kind of searching for. I was into all kind of stuff: the Egyptology, the Nubians, and Sinetta channel, and watching the debates,
Right.
and into a lot of Black Power stuff. A lot of Black Power, and we Native Americans, we the indigenous people. We the
Shalom. Shalom.
Moors. I was all over the place, and it's
Shalom. Shalom.
something that hit me with the. Go ahead, Shalaki. What you said, I?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just greeting everybody coming in. Pastor Rufus and Sister Rose. Shalom. Shalom.
Oh, okay. Shalom, shalom, y'all. Um, yeah, I was kind of all over the place, and then I kind of yearned in, but I wasn't in the text. I always was a believer, but I wasn't really in the text like that. I had a when I actually started getting into this thing. I had a new Bible that I never opened. I still,
Okay.
yeah, I still, I still got that sword. Um, but yeah, I had never opened it. I had never took it out the little slide box. But anyway, I got into the Israelism. I started seeing that and seeing jokers getting their boots kissed. And initially, I ain't gonna lie, that
Kind of
kind of
excited you a
got,
little bit.
because
Right.
I was Black Power. I
Right.
was Black Power. I was so um, that stuff. I know we look at it now. Well, some of us, a lot of us look at it now, and especially a lot of people, just in general. Look at that and say, man, why they doing that? Everybody hate them for that, but there are a group of people, man. There are a group of individuals that love that. They love it,
Mm.
and they see that, and that's one of the recruiting tools. The
Right.
boot
Draw
kicks is
me.
actually one of the recruiting tools to get people. But now that I look back on it, man, and I don't rebuke brothers for that, and in the season that I'm in now, in the dispensation I'm in now, but I do understand it because it drew me. I'm like, wait a minute, white people kissing black people boots.
Yeah,
I don't
come
know that
on,
Bible. I don't know the Bible. I don't
come on
know it.
now.
I don't know it. I
Yeah.
haven't read that book. If they done read something that makes some white people kiss their book, I need to see that book. I need to be inside of that book. But come to find out, though, I actually called ISUPK, and they left me on hold for like 2 hours, man. For a class, supposed to be like a Wednesday class, but it was gonna be a class on the phone. A lot of camps do classes on phones, on that chat line. And man, I was on there for 2 hours, man. I didn't call. I didn't get nothing back from them, and I ended up hanging up. And then I was like, man, I'm finna go out there myself. So I ended up printing up some flyers. I went out there to Stonecrest Mall, and all they had on there pretty much was like Jesus Black, we the people type stuff. You know, it was like a little small little card, but I had printed 1,000 of them. And I was just handing them out, and I just give them a little Revelation 1:14 and break that down for people. And they end up kicking me out of Stonecrest after a few weeks. Yeah, they called it during mall security. You can't be doing that.
Come on.
But I
got the flashlight cop.
Yeah, they called him out, but he was like, "I'm going to call the cops if you don't get out of here." Because and it may be everybody got like a trigger. I had like a trigger with the authorities, with the police. Well, I knew I was wrong. I shouldn't have been there, but you just be talking back. What you mean I can't be here? What you mean, like what you? I'm just passing off. I'm just trying to wake my people up. If I was out here selling dope, you wouldn't say nothing. I'm like trying to wake my people up. Now you try to lock me up and call the police, and you're like, man, bro, just get off the folk premises, man. But anyway, they was like, yeah, we finna ban you from the mall, and I went on, just left, and after that, I was finding other places, and then I end up going to before that, I ended up I seen a brother walking down the street. I pulled the car over. He had on fringes, and I pulled the car over and talked with the brother.
Right.
And then he was like, man, yeah, man, I've been watching IUIC and Yasha Rollum. Back then, there was a dude named Yasha Rollum that had the best videos. He had the best quality videos.
Okay.
And he woke up most people, but he wasn't accessible. You didn't know where he was at. And I want to say he was in Texas. I want to say
in Texas. Okay.
I want to say he was in Texas. Texas really a mecca. New York, of course, is the mecca. Atlanta second, and I would say Texas is but Texas may be growing because Atlanta is kind of trimming down. But I want to say he was from Texas. But everybody, if over 10 years, everybody know Yasha Rollum. He ended up doing some other stuff and kind of out of it now.
Right.
But you know what I'm talking about? Like Yasha Rollum, do you?
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with him. I heard of his name, but I'm not really familiar with him.
Yeah. But yeah, he was heavy. He had some high quality videos. Of course, it's nowhere near the way it is now. And back then you didn't have a lot of videos. And back then ain't that long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like 10 years ago, you didn't have a whole bunch of videos. You had to watch them videos over. You was watching the same video over. You wanted to tell somebody, everybody you told, you sent the video, you sat there and watched the video with them, and just regurgitating the same stuff. But where was I at? I met the brother, and he ended up being a barber, and he was kind of trying to get there, and I was like, well, I've been doing this and passing out this, and I end up, just go ahead and get my haircut with him,
right?
Just to build a relationship, and after that, yeah, man, we started what was Prince of Power. He had a couple of brothers, some other brothers ended up coming in, and then we just start going out. We was like, oh well, we gonna study for. Then we gave ourselves a month or 2 months,
right?
And we gonna go out there and hit the streets, and that's how that happened. And even and with that, I was making everybody. I was going to the mall. I was going to Stonecrest Mall to get everybody shirts made. I was the only one who could sew at the time. Um,
Okay, right.
right, I was the only one who could sew because I went to I went to during to the Asians and at the cleaners, and I would give them my material, and they charged me $20 to put the fringes on, and then I was
$20.
like, "Yep, $20." And then I went to get the once I picked it up,
Right.
dude told me, man, it's gonna be $40 next time. It was a lot of
Dang.
work. I said, it won't be no next time.
Right.
Won't be no next time. So I was
You
going.
know
So
that.
I was the only one who could sew, and then I went to get I went to go get it printed. I used to get vinyl put on it at so everybody can be in uniform. I used to get vinyl put on it at Stonecrest Mall. And one
Okay.
day, the darn dude at the mall, he gave me the shirts for free. And I was like, dang, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Right.
And then I went back again. I was just getting, cause any brother just say, hey man, I want to go out there with y'all. All right, bro, we're gonna get you a shirt. We
Come
can't.
on. Yeah.
Everybody gotta be out there in uniform.
Come on.
And so I was going so much, and it was brothers really weren't, brothers would hear and be like, yeah, I want to get involved, I want to do that too, but brothers really weren't, that like the parable of the sow seer, that thing burnt out. It burnt out quick, you know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
was still going to get brothers shirts, man.
Right.
And the last time I went, I couldn't find them. No more. And he pretty much had closed down. I don't know if he closed down. I went 2 days in a row. I couldn't find him, and then I was just like, let me buy the equipment, and that's pretty much how Finney Print started. From there, with me just making shirts for everybody, and then that lot end up coming in, that mission end up coming in.
Right.
But after a while, man, we start getting people. Once you out there teaching, people want to know like where your school at and where can we learn more? We saying, I don't even know if we was filming. We really weren't even filming at that time. I had the YouTube at that time. It was mostly just Facebook Live. We would do a live. Whoever wanted to pull their phone out and do a live, they'd just do a live. So we really didn't have no information for people. And then, brothers was having situations. Brothers was still 1 foot in, 1 foot in the world still, because we just jumping out there. And you don't, nobody gonna tell you, hey man, I'm dealing with it, I'm dealing with that.
No.
Yeah. Ain't nobody just gonna come out and say what they dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
But it ended up being this long story short, man, we ended up getting to school. And stuff started coming out. And then there was like a little split there. I ain't gonna say it was a split. Really, a couple brothers that was about as far as they wanted to go. Once it came to the school, they kind of got serious because brothers got to be like, well, who gonna be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Right.
Brothers say that everybody want to teach. Okay, well, you gonna teach Monday, you gonna teach Wednesday, you gonna teach Friday, and then all them brothers that made that commitment, they weren't there.
Come on.
And then they weren't there to teach, and then I had to teach. Because I put it on the window. I got the vinyl machine now. So the vinyl cutter let you put all the stuff on the window and on the So everybody coming in now. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't have it, and I can't have the darn school. We can't have it where people pulling on the door and nobody's there. But I think all of that got me to where I am now, just doing all of those. Like I have hundreds of slides, presentations of lessons. That the work's already done. It's just really just pull a lesson up and maybe revise it a little bit with new information that I've learned over the course. But all of that was a building block. Again, like I said, to get me where I am now. But yeah, I had that school. We had school maybe about 5 years, and then my dad got sick. My dad got sick with COVID, and he went into like one of them COVID comas. And so I had to leave. I had to leave Atlanta and come back to Columbus. And I had to let the school, I had to let it, after like 6 months of me not being able, not knowing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I ended up, once the lease was up, I ended up just letting it go and then trying to merge the schools. Merge 2 schools with a brother, a good brother that I knew and we had did unity camps with before. And so that's where we at now. It's this,
Right.
I'm here, they over there, and we trying to piece this thing together. But I think my mission too is just to build here, to do what I did there, to do it here.
Right.
And because they need it here. Not many, only GMS is here. Um,
Okay. Okay.
you know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So
Right.
IUIC will say they here, but they not here. Everybody from IUIC will have to go up to Atlanta and make that
Okay.
2 hour
Gotcha.
drive. Yeah.
Right. Right.
But they'll put the but IUIC got an IUIC Columbus channel, but it's not. They're not here. They 2 hours away in Atlanta, which ain't bad. Ain't a bad drive. You go up there, drive back, but
Right. Kind of.
um, yeah, that's where we at now.
Okay. Yes. Man. Man. My next question had to be is on your YouTube journey. When did you start actually start doing your own YouTube and kind of started creating your own channel and getting out there for yourself and pretty much just doing work on your own.
Um, Pretty much when that shift happened with my dad, because somebody else used to run this channel.
Okay.
We had a brother. He went to school and everything. Like once we gave him the camera, we all went in on the camera.
Right.
And once we say, hey, okay, brother, this you. He enjoyed it so much he ended up going to school for it, man, and
No.
that's how he make his living now, doing digital work and so forth. But with me being here, it ain't no need of me trying to send him footage and then telling him to edit it,
Right. Yeah.
and do,
Exactly.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It is, so I just end up getting all the information and I just handle the channel now. And I'll put the videos up and so forth. So that's kind of how that happened out of just, we just can and brother kind of, he young man and what I'm saying. So you coming to this thing young, man, is very hard, man. You coming to this thing 19, 20, 21.
Ooh, oh, yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something like man.
Yeah,
That's something like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I couldn't see
yeah.
myself coming in that early.
No, no,
There's so
no,
much temptation,
no,
man. You're
man.
so fresh. It's like you never haven't even really experienced life. You know what I mean? So
Right, right.
you can come in and you can kind of think that I could kind of just play with this thing a little bit, but and when
Mm-mm.
you go through things it did the most High wakes you up, man. It's a little different, man. Praise y'all for the ones who the Most High has woken up early, and they striving to live that set apart life. All praise to the Most High for that.
Man, all praise.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. So my one of the things we did talk about is your introduction. So how did that come about? Because when you come on, you always started off with first, all praises, to the Most High, and then you know, Yeshua, Yahuwah, Yahawashai, locally known
Right.
as Jesus Christ. So kind of
Right.
like where did that come from? That's that always kind of made me laugh, man, when I first started tuning in, man, to the channel. And the reason why is because it's in Israel, man. It's so many different names that we all call the Most High or the Messiah. And so where did that come from? And can you kind of explain some of the difference within some of the camps that these names came about? Because some of us, we really don't know the background about this.
Right. It's I was saying it's very it's a history to it.
Right.
And if you just begin with that with initially from One West and Ariala saying he received this he gave them this name, or was it Aria? No, it was Abba Bibbins. And
Yeah,
I
that's
have a
okay.
documentary on One West history. I think it's like a 4 series documentary.
Yeah, I
Where
seen
Abba
it.
Bibbins was hurt. Abba Bibbins pretty much was told them that some white man came in the kitchen and gave him the name.
Wow.
Um, And in the video it shows Tahar saying, well, ain't no white man came in the kitchen and gave him no name,
Right.
and even if he did, we don't know for sure, but that's what the spirit tell us that that's the name. And I just try to give everybody, they respect and reverence or whatever with the name and whatever name they go by. I just try to meet people where they are.
Come on.
Like I said, most people know Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna sit up there and be saying, well, I'm not gonna stop what I'm teaching them and say, oh, well, his name is really Aria, and then you don't really know that for sure. And that's why I'd be telling people to, what's your methodology for establishing
That's
that?
right.
Like we've been speaking to Lashawan, this Lashawan Kodash, and brothers been giving lessons for 20 years, 30 years on the Lashawan Kodash, and I ain't seen nobody had no dialogue. I ain't seen nobody talk to it. Brothers will say, they'll sneeze and say Shalakia, which means excuse me, my bad. And I've been saying it so much, I'll just say it. Like it's
Right.
almost in my vocabulary now. Like even when I try not to, it's just gonna come out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's natural.
It's just natural now. Yeah. It's just natural now. And then I'd be talking to so many brews that deal with it that that's just what it is. But it's just a little simple stuff that we don't know. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? And like we said, I had Divine Prospect on. He speaks Hebrew, and some of the folks speak Hebrew to somebody really speak Hebrew. You know what I'm
Come on.
saying?
Yeah. That's true.
I done had I done had people who say, "Oh, wait, you want me to teach you?" Like when I first was coming, I was coming around a lot of Old Testament only. Some of those Demona Israelites, because I was working at a Jewish bakery, and they sold a lot of vegan stuff. The Demona Israelites are vegan, so they had a
Right.
couple of restaurants out there in Atlanta, and they would get their cakes and stuff, and they'll see me with fringes, and we have certain dialogues. They invite me certain places, and but there was one brother that he wasn't from the Demona Israelites though, but he had another vegan restaurant.
Right.
And he was finna teach Hebrew, and he said sound, so he'd be reading it, and he'd be reading the Sefer, the Sefer, and he invited me to a couple of his Sabbaths. Maybe it'd be after Sabbath, like a dinner, once the Sabbath end.
Okay. Right.
And he'd be reading from the Sefer, and like, oh man, yeah, man, this is amazing. He's like, maybe I'm gonna start back teaching Hebrew. And then, hey, you want to be in the class? Like, yeah, man, I want to learn. And then he invited a rabbi down. He invited his rabbi down, and his rabbi come from his rabbi was in them commandment keepers. When you hear, if you've been watching them Truth Unedited videos, they talk about the commandment keepers. He in some of them pictures, like he,
Okay, the rabbi.
that rabbi that came down.
Okay.
And so when he went to the rabbi came down and he led over a Sabbath at his house. And when he got to reading that Sefer, that same dude got to reading that Sefer, man, that rabbi was stopping him every 2 words. Like, no, that ain't how that go. That ain't how that go. That ain't how that go. So some of them, they gonna sound good to us. They gonna sound good to us because we don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you have to, even when you learning these languages from Israelites, man, you need to make sure, you need to go behind them and make sure that they know what they talking about and that they pronouncing these things and teaching you correctly.
Right.
But again, Divine Prospect is probably one of the most recognized, him and Zion Lex, within Israelism that's messianic. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a lot of them Old Testament brothers do speak Hebrew, probably a lot more fluently. But we had him on, and he, even him, like, hey man, And initially, I forgot to tell you, like initially I was going to a Hebrew congregation of Atlanta where Minister Carnes is over that. He teaches Greek and Hebrew.
Right.
And Divine Prospect teaches there also sometimes. So I done heard it. I done been in the classes. I done seen some of the dialogue, some of the breakdowns, some of the linguistics and stuff like that. But I was just saying that to say that these people deal with the Hebrew a lot more than others. Really more than probably all the Israelite camps that's in that one West spectrum.
Okay.
And if
All right.
they're saying, "Hey, man, we don't know," and they can't put the methodology to it, and he has a methodology. Um, but is he 100% sure? Will he stand on it? No, he's not gonna do that.
Yeah,
He's not gonna
right.
say he
Exactly. Yeah.
100%. This is exactly what he's not gonna do that. Just like I was saying, somebody would have to come out of coma, man. Somebody would have to come out of coma
Yeah. Come
speaking
on.
biblical Hebrew, Paleo
Come on
Hebrew.
now.
And that'll be more believable for me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Right.
if he came out, it was like, man, he's speaking biblical Hebrew. I would try to glean from that more than I would anything else.
Right. Exactly.
And most
Yeah.
people say, and even I think Divine ended that video, and the other brothers like this one, and I've heard Minister Corn say this also, that the safest thing is just to say Yah.
Come on.
That we have strong evidence that we know that Yah is there. And I forget that verse in Psalms with that Jah, that Jaah.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're talking about that.
Yeah. But yeah, back in the day, man, what end up building up is that when that split end up happening, and you got brothers like, you got GOC saying a higher.
Mm.
You got what's the brother name? Jedediah.
Jedediah. Right.
Jedediah, I think he say Yahosha. And Jedediah speaks Hebrew.
Yeah,
but I don't know until I see him in front of somebody who speaks Hebrew. Like to us, it sounds that way.
It sounds good. Yeah,
let's put him in front of somebody who speaks Hebrew and let's see. But yeah, I seen him challenging the Elder Rakash, I think his name, Elder Rakash of GOCC. And yeah, I put my money with Jedediah. But Yahosha, I don't know how he came up with that. I don't know how he came up with the O.
Yeah. It's a lot of people I've been hearing. It's the older. I mean, I say elder. He's the elderly. As far as in age, and I know he says that a lot too. He be on YouTube a lot. I forgot his name. I want to say Reginald Graham. Okay. But he uses that too. Yehoshua. And
Yehoshua, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like, I wonder where that came from.
Yeah. I don't know the methodology.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Don't know the methodology for that. It's another group called Yao. It's Yaoh. I think they're Old Testament group.
Yahoo. Man, I ain't never heard of them.
Yeah, Yao. It's a but just to get a little history, folks used to run up on you about that name. If you didn't have that right name, they were just running up. They would come to it was camp. We used to run up on camps. Back in the when I say back in the day, I'm talking about maybe 10 years ago, y'all.
Right.
It ain't that long ago. That's why you still have this stuff you have going on now. You have to think too, like when that group split up, when One West split up, all of these people who are leaders, like Elder Tahar was over Bishop Nathaniel. All of these people were in the same building. One person was, oh man, you was just a doorman. Now you over 10,000 people. You know what I'm saying? It may be some saltiness there. Or you don't know the scriptures. You never knew the scriptures. And and so it's some bitterness. It's some bitterness involved into how people done moved and moved on and end up doing a little better than others. And if they have something on you like that name, well, he called him Jesus Christ. And so now let's pull up and see if he know the real name. Do you know the real name? And this the only name you can be saved by. And and brothers be trying to make clips. Brothers be trying to make clips of that. And like I said, back in the day, it wasn't a lot of videos, so everybody would see it. Everybody who was inside of that would see it.
Right.
And that's what brothers already knew. Like we already knew. If we had seen them in Atlanta, let me tell you, man. In Atlanta, we all used to teach pretty much on the same block. We went and helped pretty much start the and it had started, but we was some more bodies out there. Okay. Made it look a little better, you know what I'm saying, for HOI. And initially HOI, the House of Israel, was Atlanta was really only um uh Yoel or y'all. He called himself now with the Sons of Thunder, the leader of Sons of Thunder. He was with HOI, and it was one other brother that started there. And
Right.
you know, we would go out there. We was like maybe 6, 7 deep. And we would teach on the corner. We would teach on the corner right here, but up the street on the next corner up there, IUIC up there. And then
Man, come
right
on.
next to us, is ISUPK. I'm talking
Oh,
about
wow.
right
Man,
next to
all
us.
of y'all just like pretty much the same on the
Man,
same block.
we was on the same block. But most times ISUPK was just random. We never knew
Right.
when they was gonna show up. And sometimes they had already be there, and then we start pulling up and start laying stuff down, and they would leave. They wouldn't. There was never no confrontation with it.
Okay.
But it was never no love either. It was
Right.
never
Right.
no,
Right.
we dapping each other up, Most High Christ bless, or how about you, man? It was never that either,
Right.
though. You know what I'm saying? You really couldn't. I remember one time, man, we went up to IUIC. This was really our first time. This was everybody's first time seeing IUIC live. We've been watching them on the videos. And
Right.
we go up there and we got the signs. You buy the signs from IUIC. All right, the signs cost like a little over $300, and then you got to get them laminated and all of that foolishness.
Oh,
But we
okay. So
got
you
they
got
signs.
signs from them.
Yeah, you buy your
Okay.
camp
Okay.
kit from them.
Okay. Got you. Got you.
You know what I'm saying? I got it right, but you buy your camp kit
Shalom,
from them.
Mordecai. Shalom, my brother. Thank you for tuning in.
And man, we went up there, man, and we just wanted to speak to the brothers, and so we just sat there. We sat in front of them, hoping they were gonna ask a question or say, "Hey, what y'all
Right.
brothers doing?" Da, 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 da. But really, they were tense. They were like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
what these brothers up here for?"
Right.
And we
Come on.
sat there for maybe 15, 20 minutes. We were waiting on the HOI brothers, and then we just got up out of there. And then when we got up out of there, I seen a few brothers do like this, like quietly.
Right. 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 Right.
You're
Right.
like,
Like kind
man,
of.
but this
Yeah.
is like may got orders. Like, nah, we can't just be, saluting brothers and trying to chop it
Right.
up with brothers. But
Exactly.
I get it, man. Like I say, it was a lot of tension and people running up on camps for beef and doctrinal issues.
Right.
And it was going on camera, and that's how it was. It was a face to face. It wasn't no talking on the phone and man called me privately. No, we got a doctrinal issue. I'm pulling up, and we finna talk about it. We want to talk about it. Well, hey, you trying to interrupt the camp? Nah, this what the camp for. Well, we finna talk about it. But like I said,
Right.
it's not like that anymore. And if you do run up on the camp, they'll cut the camera off. Like if I pull up on the camp, it's probably, it probably won't be on
Social media.
on camp. Yeah, it probably won't be. They'll see what I want first. And I wouldn't do that out of respect. That's why I don't. I take the video. Once you put the video up, I do a video, but I won't pull up unless you ask me to. You ask me to, and you want to do it on camera, then I pull up. Even if the debate, if you ask me, I'll do it. But I'm not just gonna come out and just call nobody out and do that, because that ain't what
Right.
that ain't what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to give correction on certain things. And if you put it out there wrong, then I gotta, then I'm a and if you feel I'm wrong, then we can talk about it. Let's sit down and talk about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that name thing is still very serious to some people. And so I just try to respect everybody, everybody's understanding on it. And everybody's name on it, and I still have people still in the comments, man, his name is Yahweh, brother. And it's like, bro,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I'll be
I
cool.
understand it. I understand it. I had to fight my flesh all the time in them comments, man. Like, I be wanting to answer all of them. It's like, nah, just let them live.
Right. Yeah. Some things is not worth even responding on. I've been learning that too. Like you got to kind of know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Right, right.
It's not that serious. Everybody has their opinion, and it is what it is with that. And so this brings me to my next question. We kind of chopped it up about this earlier. What is in your opinion, the state of for the Hebrew Israelites as far as where we at with the unity, a lot of doctrine that's going on, a lot of things been putting out. I seen like you said earlier, Truth Unedited been putting some very interesting and edifying too. Some videos out, and different things being kind of said about things was or could have been started by Masons or different things like that. In your opinion, can you maybe talk about that? Some of the foundational things that has happened and kind of where we at now, because on camera, things can seem a certain type of way, but it might not necessarily be there. So can you just briefly just talk about that, my brother?
Yeah, they like I said, I feel I agree with him with them founding fathers being Masons. I agree with him. And it's listed. They, like I said, that the Masons back in those times, being Masonic or whatever, that was a badge. That was like a badge of honor.
Right, Con, yeah.
Like your Martin Luther Kings, a lot of your church
Yeah.
pastors,
Oh,
the
yeah,
AMC, the
sure.
AME church, yeah,
Come on.
AME church, all that stuff was started by Masons.
Right.
And not to say I don't know what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I ain't in there. I don't
Right.
know what they were doing, but it used to be a badge, and it used to be something. That's why they wear them. They still wear the hats, like with the little G on it and the compass. A lot of them
Oh, yeah, yeah.
them elders had a little ring, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they used to tell you about it. Used to talk about it when you was a kid. Like, yeah, man, he used to. They do a secret
Come on.
handshake, and he'll get out of a ticket. He used to hear them,
Yeah, yeah, my
because
uncle was one of them too. I'm not mistaken. I think he still is. And that used to be, when I was young, and it was been interesting. I was like, man, they got to, in my mind, I was young, man, maybe 8, 9 years old. They
yeah,
got the little, the leather vest and everything, and it got
mm-hmm,
the logos, and it was like a sense of, it was like people respected them.
right. Nah, they did, man. And so I can see that and understand that, but like I said, today you trying to say these folk Masons, not, man, this thing ain't organized. It's not organized like you think it is. I was just telling you my
Oh,
story, man. We just got
yeah,
together and said, hey, man, 2 months we gonna study and go out there on the streets.
come on,
I can imagine how they doing it now. They just going out there. I'm sure
right.
there ain't no organization, ain't no money being collected. That's another issue. Hey, brothers ain't collecting no. Some brothers. I ain't gonna
Right.
brothers out here got camp dues and all this stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
as far as I never seen HOI, so had no passing around no bowl, or Sons of Thunder passing around no bowl like that. Everybody I went around, even when we did like a massive unity camp one time at in Washington D.C. in front of the White House. Man, you just had to. Everybody just had to get up there how they got up there, man. We ended up driving up there. Maybe ended up getting a van
Right. Come on.
and driving up there, man. 12 hours, and I don't know how
Ooh-wee.
many hours. It was a long time from Georgia to D.C. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
listen, man. This is because and brothers asked me for that because brothers used to love unity camps. They
Come
love it,
on.
man. When we gonna do another unity? When we gonna do? Man, we did to that DC trip, man. We had to drive up there and then we drove straight back.
Ah, man, if he didn't get no rest, it was just straight there,
He ain't
straight
getting
back.
no, man. It was horrific. It was only the Lord got us back, sir. I'm talking
Oh,
about it
come
was
on.
horrific. And
Well,
brothers
that's a
never
whole
asked
day's
again.
drive.
Huh?
That was a whole day's drive.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we out there, 4-5 hours. And that's what I'm telling you. It's not what you see on video. Brothers is out there 6 to 8 hours sweating. You might see a 30-minute clip. They only clipping what the people come. You out there prophesying to the wind
Come on.
for 5 hours. And that's too why brothers get frustrated. Brothers is out there just prophesying to the wind. Nobody listening to them. It end
Right.
up hurting their feelings. You end up getting your feelings hurt. And then you're like, man, y'all jokers won't listen. That's why you're gonna die. And
Right.
Most High gonna come down and cut all your heads off because you don't want to listen to you.
Right.
You hard headed. You hard headed.
Hey,
You know,
come
you
on now.
stiff neck. You don't want to listen and you know, it can get frustrating. You know, if you
Right.
first time, if you ever go out there on them streets and it's your first time, it does hurt your feelings. Brothers, really, their feelings are hurt, and you have to get used to that. You have to get numb to that, and just keep on going. But
Right.
initially, it's part of the it's part of it. It's just you out there and you just and nobody's listening to you, walking right by you. You trying to get them, hey, baby, miss, you want to hear the word? You want to hear the word? You want to hear the word? Come on, hear the word real quick. Nah, man, I ain't trying to hear that. I don't believe in that trash. And so, but you'll never see that on. You're not gonna see empty because it's not entertaining. The people don't want to watch that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So 6 hours of footage is not gonna be there. You're gonna get that 30-minute interaction with that
Maybe
one
one
person that
came up
stopped.
and kind of yeah. One
Yeah,
person
yeah,
stopped.
yeah, that one person that stopped. And you might go that whole day and one or two people stopped and listened to the word that day. So
Right.
some of that frustration and the cussing people out and all that stuff, it kind of stems from that. Hold on one second.
Okay. Yeah.
It kind of stems from that. And it's like I said, it's not, man. We just jokers is just pulling up to a location. Something they ain't in the same car. They ain't, you know, you getting there how you can get there. You know, at this particular time, especially for those who ain't got a school. Most camps don't have a school. Like I want to say we were the first ones to have a school besides like your IUIC, ICPK, to have a school in Atlanta.
Right.
And a lot of camps that came in had to come like brothers from Battle Axis. I didn't invite them. I didn't know they was coming. You know what I'm saying? Brothers from out there at Dallas. But
Right.
another brother invited them. And they were like, "Hey man, we need to go to a school." And then they you know they invited them to, "Hey man, you know I got what else they said, the what camp was that? Battle Axis. I'm sorry. We
Yeah.
got Battle
Battle.
Axis coming in.
Yeah.
Battle Axis coming in tomorrow, man. You know, he telling me this on preparation day.
Right.
So I ain't got no snacks. They done came. I ain't got no snacks, no food or nothing for them.
Right.
And then one of the brothers said he really hurt my feelings, man. He was like, and they definitely some good brothers, man. You know, just doctrinally, you know, I don't agree with them, but they definitely some sincere, humble brothers, man.
Right.
But brother was like, man, listen, man, you come up to Dallas, bro. You need to come to Dallas, man. You come up to Dallas, bro. We gonna have it laid out for you. And I was
Come
like,
on.
yeah, I should have had it laid. I was supposed to have
Now,
it laid out, but I don't even know if they know that this joker called me, you know, on preparation day.
late today. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's over with. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
Like we ain't even got nothing. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? He got that but some juices and some water.
Come on.
But yeah, man, that was kind of embarrassing. But that's what I'm saying. It's just not. It's not what you think it is, man. You know, some of the bigger groups, yeah, they gonna have to be that way. They gonna have to be organized. But like your HOIs, your WFIs, you know, and all of these little splinter groups, SOT and the Bar Gearum that we just seen,
Right.
the Borium that I just did a video on. You know, brothers is doing this with brothers is doing this out their pocket. You know, brothers is struggling to get a
Come
camera,
on.
man. Camera $700-800, man. You know you trying to put together all kind of coins, you know,
That's right.
and that's one of the things about being a leader too, man. You know, we're coming out of Christianity and we talking about how Christianity just take the folks money and we
Right.
ain't
Right.
taking the people money, but man, you need money, man.
Come on.
everything
Yeah, you got to
costs
have
money,
money.
man.
Come
You
on.
got the money to get them juices out there. You
Amen.
can't have one brother just buying juices and the little snacks and stuff. They go out
Come
there
on.
to camp and buying the ice and responsible for.
Come
You
on.
can't just put that on that brother. You can't just
Right.
put it on one brother to buy the camera and all the lenses
Come on. Come with it.
and buy the software and do and then edit the video and you know
Yes, dog, man. Everything will be burned.
yeah, but yeah, and then it ended up being like it ended up happening like them brothers be in their feelings, you know.
Yeah. Come
It
on.
be little
Yeah.
slick things, yeah, that brothers are getting their feelings because this thing ain't It's not a oil well-oiled machine. It's just brothers coming together to go out there on the street corner.
Right.
That's really most of the camps. That's what it is, man. Just brothers coming together. Sometimes they got on the same t-shirt, but most times they don't. Brothers have on little garments. They get out there, you'll see GMS. They ain't even out, They get a camera, sit the camera down. Everybody pull up, and they just get a word into the camera.
Right.
But far as brothers, brothers saying it's a cult, they a cult, and they just around each other all day. Nah, man. And that's not how it works. Like brothers got lives and doing certain things, and really they linking up on the Shabbat. They linking up on the Shabbat to teach a class, go out there on the street corners, and maybe a class on Wednesdays or midweek class on a phone, on a chat line or something like that. But nah, you saying that they Masons and like that star. I don't know why they like the star. They gotta have something, and I think it's just us being Negroes, man. We got to have some kind of logo that we can put on a chain that's look a certain way.
Yeah,
that's why they holding on to it. They ain't got a better logo. And I was even saying that when we just make a better logo. I got a video of me just throwing away, man. I was painting the thing and everything, man. But once I realized it, I had to throw it away. I threw away the chain. That was one of the first things I did. Bought me a chain with a darn Star David on it.
Right.
And then I was painting at the time, and I was even painting them. But I ended up throwing all of that away. Once you just come to the reality, man, it's just, that's something they made up. You can't call it something else. You can't call it a tulip and none of that, man. They called it the Star David. They made it up and put it on their flag. And there's certain connections that's there. And you don't want to play with that. You don't want to guess.
Yeah.
You don't want to guess with that. So, but I wouldn't say they wearing it because they Masons and it's some kind of Mason. Nah, they just wearing it because they ain't got nothing else. Just like they wear that little Saints logo. I don't know why they wear that. It's
y'all been seeing it too. I didn't know like what's the background that comes from that, or what's
they got a bad history with the slavery, man. I think that's some with slavery, but they don't know that. They don't wear it for that.
Okay.
I don't know why they wear it, because I remember a brother bringing that out to Captain Tazariot, and he was saying that, man, that come from slavery, man. That's a slave brand they used to put on us or something like that. He was like, I gotta look into it. If that's what it is, I'll take it off. But you need something. You gotta. That's why they make certain logos. Everybody got a logo for their name so they can put it on something. We need it's some kind of brand that they need.
Right, kind of.
You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't say it was. I'm not gonna say it's man, they Masons. Nah, man. A lot of brothers are struggling, man. A lot of brothers. This ain't no. Just ain't no. This movement ain't. It ain't on the high horse, man. Like
on YouTube.
Yeah, man. Nah. Even when you see brothers in them nice garments and it's not like that. Brothers don't win all out. You don't know how many garments I haven't got paid for. Yeah, I done sent out. You don't know how many people I done talked to. I be like, man, you know what, bro? Like, just get some off of there, man, and I can jazz it up. Just get some from Temu, man. And I jazz it up for you and do so you don't have to just go all out but man, it's just our way of thinking. We still mindset. We can come off of that, but we still here with the wardrobe and how we dress and that's real. So yeah, man, yeah, we still had that Negro culture, you know what I'm saying, that was developed here. And we gonna still spend our money like that, and we still gonna be beefing with each other like that. So you talking about the unity? I don't know, like the unity, it ain't there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't there, and it's small. People, we don't understand how small this community is, man. Like you can get all these Israelites together, and you couldn't fill the Potter's house. Come on, get all the Israelites together, you couldn't fill the Potter's house.
Come on now.
So this is a small movement, and this why all this stuff get out so quick.
Right.
all you know, all even your little personal stuff, because it's a small community. And that's why it's so important to keep a good report, to have a good report, to have a good name within this
Yeah.
community, especially being how small it is.
Right.
Especially being how small it is. But no, man, we far from unity. And a lot of this stuff is just still us dealing with the flesh and mortifying ourselves, becoming new creatures.
Yeah.
We're having trouble doing that. We're becoming new creatures, but it ain't in righteousness, man.
Come on.
We becoming, you know, we getting egos. We becoming these leaders, and we taking advantage of people. We becoming these
Talk about it
we
all.
getting this name that we couldn't get. We didn't have no name in the world.
Come on. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
get a name within Israel, and man, we
Oh,
get to acting crazy. We don't know how to handle it.
Come on.
We don't know how to handle it. And you know, we start abusing our power. And that's what a lot of this stuff is happening. That's why a lot of these splits end up happening. You can't sit these people down. You can't sit them down because their ego will not gonna let them sit down. It's not gonna let them. They're gonna leave and start another group.
Right.
And so, you know, this is why we have 1,000 groups now. You know, it's probably, yeah, it's a few hundred maybe. I see new groups almost every day on YouTube, man.
Right.
Like, dang, you know what I'm saying? I used to be like that too. I was like, you know, and I never been in another camp. You know, I only been within, you know, the camp we kind of started, but
Shalom, Brother Allen.
I've been around so many different camps, just trying to do the unity game, you know, trying to do it.
Come on.
But you know, brothers, you know, I remember one time I was getting up with this one camp, man. The brother said to me, he said, man, you know, don't be hollering at our sisters, man.
Oh.
And I said right there, I said, see, you done told me all about yourself. That's all you worried about are these women. You worried about these women. You ain't even seen them yet. You ain't even been down here to see what kind of women here.
Right.
I'll be down there hollering, trying to take our sisters. I'm like, brother, you sit here and see, that made me see that leader different. And then at that point, I don't even want to be, because I don't want to see you like that. I don't want to see you. I don't want, you know, and that's the thing too, man. A lot of us have a certain expectation because of what we see on YouTube. It's not like that. You know, it's unrealistic. Your expectations of these individuals are unrealistic. You want them to be pure, then, you know, they send your wife a text message. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you send your wife a text message, and then now you all destroyed. Now you distraught. Exactly. Now you like, oh man, this thing is just crazy. But nah, man, it's a lot of good brothers. It's a lot of good brothers. It's mostly good brothers within these organizations. But leadership wise, I think we have an issue leadership wise in a lot of these organizations. But there are a lot of sincere brothers that just are there to, you know, dare they do the work of the Lord and try to walk this thing out and be as righteous as they can, you know. But some of that stuff gets, if you see your leader doing certain things, you know, you're going to set your that's gonna be your top. If he's here, I can be here, Mike. I can make it in. You know, a lot of people had that. As long as you know, I could be about right here. I probably ain't gonna be at the level of the leader, but I could be right here. And honestly, you know, Christ's supposed to be our bar. That's supposed to be our bar. You ain't supposed to make no another man your bar. You ain't supposed to make Brother Phinehas your bar. You don't know what Brother Phinehas doing. You know what I'm saying? You just see Brother Phinehas on the Shabbat. You don't know what foolishness Brother Phinehas in. Your bar need to be that text.
That's right.
And I think brothers have gotten into some man worship, and I think this happens in a lot of organizations. You know, just like a Farrakhan or you know what I'm saying. You know,
all across the board.
Yeah. People gonna do this. It's natural. It's nature. It's flesh.
Come on.
The flesh gonna cleave. The flesh gonna cleave to him and be like, nah, I need to be like, he's so wonderful. He's so great. Just like brothers calling brothers, man, this brother Peter. Peter reincarnated. You know, that's what they doing back in that old one West. They still doing that. The brother
Man.
Tazadok saying he was the Holy Spirit. You
Yeah,
know,
come on. Yeah, the
yeah, you know,
comforter and then
yeah, you know, yeah, man. And the
like,
brothers
man, that's some
Ariala
dangerous
vouch
ground.
for it.
Yeah, that's some
But
dangerous ground to be on, though. You know, when you calling when you calling people, when you calling people these and putting, people on a pedestal like that and expecting them to, be what you see, on the screen, that's like I tell a lot of people too, I had a conversation with one of my kin folks, and it was, oh man, you got a podcast and all that. Oh man, you living your best life. I'm like, man, you don't know, man, I'm working off this phone and a broke down tablet, man. With this, you know what I'm saying? With a,
yeah,
it's nothing sweet, but it's like, they see you, yeah, we doing the work. All praise be to Yah for that. But man, it's not no glamorous lifestyle, man. I don't make no money on here. I'm not monetized. You don't see cash up floating on here. It's nothing. It's just doing the work, man. And man, we struggle. We struggle spiritually. Physically. And we go through things, man, just like everybody else. But just learning how to persevere, and still getting it done, even that I have things that that I'm going through, financial issues and different things, and but still able to push through, man. Because if it's one thing I can just tell people is that, you know, one thing the devil wants you to do, man, he wants you to stop. He wants to slow down your momentum, anything that you're doing. So, even when you're going through things, we got to push through. But just know that everything that you see is not everything that glitter is not gold. It's
right.
not.
Nah, man, you got to know you don't know people's journey,
Come
and
on,
even some of these leaders, you don't know what they going through. You know what I'm
right?
saying? It's some good leaders out here too. A lot of good leaders out here too. Like I said, the battle axes and even Bishop Yapta, not as far as I know. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers may have some other issues, but far as the report that I've received, there are a lot of good brothers out here, and even Bishop Nathaniel. You may look at that and be like, man, I wish, man, I wish I had that kind of money, or I wish I had that kind of congregation and that kind of cloud. You don't know what Bishop going through.
Come on,
You have no idea what he
we.
going through.
Yeah, it sounds
You
good
know,
to say it, but
yeah, even like
it
a
sounds
TD
good.
Jakes or a
Come on,
Creflo. You don't know what them folk going through, man. You don't know what they going through to
right?
try to try to maintain. You don't know how many people trying to speak to these folks.
Come
How
on,
many people trying to get to him? That was just like, when Moses was going through that situation, man, and had to talk to his father-in-law Jethro. He had
right?
to tell him, man, you need to divide this thing up, man. You need to
Come
get
on,
some other people in here to help you out with this thing, because it can become overwhelming. Everybody want to talk to you. Everybody want to drop their issues on you. Everybody want to go through their problems. Everybody in the wilderness was, man, we need some food, man. I'm tired of eating that manna, man.
come on, come
You
on
know
now.
what, he done brought us out here to starve us. And you
Right?
don't think Moses hungry too?
Come on,
Moses starving too. He ain't
fact.
just eat what he ain't just eat something y'all ain't eat. He eating the
Right?
same thing. And so, these leaders be going through the same thing. So um I definitely give them grace on that, man. And I don't look at them and envy them at all. Cause I know. I know. I
Come
know
on,
they going through. Just like he told Paul, man. He like, man, I'm gonna put this joke. This joke don't know how much stuff he gonna have to go through.
come on,
He
facts.
don't know how much stuff he gonna have to go through for my name's sake. Don't worry about it. I got him. He's telling what that Ananias. You
Come
don't
on,
even worry about it. I know he was killing us and doing all that. I don't even worry about
right?
it. He gonna have to go through it.
Come on,
He gonna have to go through it. Shipwrecked, whipped, darn, all
all
stoned to
types
death.
of stuff.
They stoned that
Yeah,
joker to death.
come on.
Stoned him, left him for dead. No, man. I don't envy these brothers at all. It ain't never envy for me. I know.
Yeah, come
I
on.
know what
Yeah,
they going through.
man.
I know what it takes to
Nothing.
sit
I
in
don't
that
want
chair,
nothing that
man.
y'all have it. That is not for me, man. I don't envy nobody.
No, man. Yeah, yeah, there it
You
is.
don't know what type of things them people got to go through.
You don't
Just
know,
to
man.
maintain it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Yes, yeah, that's
Woo,
true.
pray for your leaders.
Come
Pray for
on. Yeah,
leadership
like
in
Pastor
Israel,
Rufus
man.
said,
My goodness.
Pastor Rufus, he said, I know it all too well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I be the
Oh yeah.
glory. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I know Pastor Bro. No, Pastor Rufus know it.
Yeah, I know he
I
know.
know he know it. Yeah.
Man, that's,
And they think that they want that seat. They want Moses' seat
come
so
on,
bad.
come
They
on,
want Moses' seat so bad. Man, please. I
come
see
on,
the
God.
been done crushed you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what end up happening for those that be envying and coveting after that seat.
Come on.
You know, they end up crushing them. I had a brother ask me, man, hey man, let me pay for the I'll pay for the school because I was paying for the school. School's coming out of my pocket.
Right.
And so when I shut it down, he's like, man, you know what? I'll pay for it all. Like, bruh, I listen, I would give you the landlord number and y'all can switch that thing over. But nah, man, I can't let you, I can't let you do that. Nah, I can't let you.
Exactly.
That thing might crush you, man. But yeah, nah, I can't let you do that. But brothers be wanting to. He
Yep.
wanted that
Yep.
responsibility,
Come on.
and nah, I couldn't. My spirit was like, nah, nah, we can't do that. But yeah, man, we gotta be mindful that that's why I don't attack leadership too much. I try not to. And I see some wrong, I'm gonna say it, but I try not to go overboard on leadership because it is a difficult situation, and you don't know till you know. You don't know till you don't know how you gonna respond.
Come on.
There's
Yeah.
a situation with the old One West where they said, a check was given to them. I think brother what's it, did
Yeah.
True
True
Fun Edit
Editors
say
brought
that?
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a check. It was
That's
and
another brother
we've
heard
been hearing
too.
them rumors. We always heard them rumors that
Yeah.
it
It
was
was
a
another
check.
brother. It was another
Yeah.
brother. There was another brother I heard. He was in a small Sabbath class that I attend on Google Meet, and he's actually from New York, about mid 50s, and he actually mentioned that uh, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was almost like on the same line. Like he was talking about that almost like the same thing what Truth and Edit was saying. So it was very interesting. I was like, man, I know I heard this before, and that's when it dawned on me. I was like, man, that's from that one brother. Yeah, but he did mention that. So not sure how truthful it is, but yeah, heard
Yeah,
about
you
that.
don't know. You don't know, man. And that check come, you don't know how you gonna act. You know what I'm
Come on,
saying? You wanna, you wanna say that, you gonna say, hey man, they ain't gonna change me. I ain't gonna do that, but them brothers, something happened. If that was the case, I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? But
right, kind,
if that was the
kind,
case, you know what I'm saying? And I say when they split, Taza Doc, the comforter dude, man, he had the dawn Passover. They had boys the men singing at the Passover, man.
yeah, yeah, I seen that.
You seen that? You seen that
Yeah,
Passover?
yeah, yeah,
Man,
I seen
it
it. I
ain't never
seen it.
been a Passover like that
Come on,
within the community. Ain't never been one as big as they've been trying to reach that level. And that's why I was telling them, people, I think it's growing, but it's not within the one West spectrum. I
right.
think channels, especially like Truth on Edit got almost a
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
almost a million subscribers.
Millions of dollars.
Deborah and Deborah.
Yeah,
Um,
Watchmen. Yeah,
a lot of Israelites outside because of a lot of the look that the One West has been given. That's kind of I feel like it's one of my missions too is to give a because I know I got most of these people numbers and I know they're gonna look over. If I tell them to look at something, they'll look over it.
right,
That we reform that we make that we do camp different. That camp will look different. And that's my mission now is
right.
a camp reformation. You know what I'm
Come on.
saying? To teach differently, to teach in love. Basically salvation for everybody.
Come on.
Not what's your nationality, but have you been born again? Have
Right,
you received Christ? You know what I'm saying? To reform that because all of us have been given a precept packet and what to say and how to say it. When he
yeah,
say this, all of that gotta be redone. All of it gotta be revamped. And so a lot of my energy is going to that, just trying to make them question, like, wait a minute, man. That don't and pull that string, because that's what happened to me. I pulled the string
Right.
and a lot of the garment just fell off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so just to get them to start searching and start pulling that string, and then not just that, but show the example. That's why I say I'm getting back on the streets next
Right.
month, y'all willing. Um, and to show a different look, to show a different look, and we'll see, we'll see what y'all bring forth from it. But it's
Right.
definitely time to do something different. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm with reforming. I'm with a
Come on.
reformation, just like the Protestants separated from the darn Catholic Church. I'm
Right.
with that kind of reformation happening, and we revamping this thing. And I think I don't know, man. It's no telling what could happen um, when we're operating in love and not just spewing out hate
Hey, yeah.
um, and going at each other. Because that's another reason why we go at each other and our fuse is so short, because we have this hate and we're harboring this hate
Come on.
and we can't do nothing about it. Ain't nobody slapping on that. I was with people now. I'm like, man, I don't even want to hear it. If you
Come
ain't willing
on.
to do that, I don't want to hear it. If you ain't trying to do nothing about it, like what we talking about? Like, why are we rehearsing this thing and keep going on and meditating on this thing?
Right.
And a lot of times that anger gets put out on people's children,
Come
on
on.
your wife,
Yes.
on your brothers closest to you,
Do you? Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
because you want to lash out. You know what I'm saying? You want to lash out, but you know you can't. And when you know you can't, then what can you do? Let's do what we can do. You know what I'm saying? Let's start working on what we can do instead of harboring and meditating on what we can't do. And
Right.
okay, of course, it's okay to be angry. Be angry, sin not. But
Right. Right. Right.
you can't keep If you keep meditating on
Hey,
that, that's what you
don't be
become.
there.
As a man thinketh, so is he.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of and that's why it's reversing. That's why we want to be the enslavers. Because that's what we're meditating
Mm.
on.
Come on
And
now.
so we becoming I can't wait to get my chance to crack the whip. And that's why a lot of this doctrine is coming. And that's why it's just one string. I just need them to pull one string,
Okay.
and a lot of this stuff will fall off for those who it's for. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be for everybody.
Right.
But for who it's for, that's the mission.
Right. Con. I guess that's definitely, that's why I'm at too. And, that was, another reason to, that I wanted to, bring you on is, not only to, give you flowers now. You've been putting in the labor of work for a minute, and all praise be to God, man. That you know, uh, He allowed you to, break these different, falsehoods down and different, doctrines, and also, edify too, because I know, like myself, just speaking for myself, some of these things, and I only been in this walk since 2018, but I never experienced being in the camps or an assembly and different things like that. I'm pretty much been, on my own per se, just, maybe one or two people that, was, the most I put around me to kind of give me that structure, they've been through it, but they kind of like steer me, away from that. But, these things are, it's something that we need to see and we need to hear because, like you said, at this time, man, we need to be able to, dwell, man, in unity, man, with one another. And it's that's why, we get so much of a bad name when people talk about the Hebrew Israelites, and it's unfortunate that we gotta go through these things, but like brothers like yourself and uh and others who is actually, who doing this thing, according to what Yahweh wanted to be, man, and that's out of love, man, and even correcting out of love, that's big,
Right.
and you don't see a lot of that, but it's much needed, and well, I definitely appreciate it because that's what I'm about, man, and bringing our brothers together. It's not even a lot of brothers who can, and they might know that you've been laboring, putting in work, but man, I ain't gonna go mess with him, and you know, he might try to come up on me, you know what I'm saying? Like this type of
Mm-hmm.
them mindsets, or don't even want to, acknowledge that, hey man, this brother's been, or sister too, been putting in some work, and uh, it's sometimes, it's needed to be appreciated. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
That keeps all in our lamp. I remember you said that before too, and that stuck with me because sometimes man it gets, they do get a little rough. You like, man, it is, what I'm doing is people, even just listening,
right. Yeah,
and that's
jokers fall asleep in class, everything, man.
yeah, come on now. So this is what it is. I can yeah, shalom, brother. Pastor Ruby, say love you, brothers. Stay encouraged. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, shalom, shalom
I
to
love you
you.
too, brother.
Pastor Rufus, most definitely. And you know, uh, that brings me to as we coming to a close there, my brother. But I definitely wanted to hit this right here, man. How did you come up with the ending of your video, man? Yeah, man, when I first heard that, I was like, I thought I actually, I think I was watching it and I don't know, I was doing something, maybe we can get something to eat or something like that. And I was like, man, something wrong with my tablet. I was like, man, is Wi-Fi messing up or something. It was the video was over with. All I heard was, man, I'm pretty this thing was edifying me. Y'all be blessed alone. I was like, what
You
in
know,
the world?
I would tell you too. I got another channel, man,
Right.
for my embroidery, Finney Prints.
Okay. Okay.
It just show all the embroidery and sewing and stuff like that.
Right.
And man, I had made this intro in there. It was about 45 seconds. You know, I spent a lot of time making that intro, man. And I start seeing about 10 comments. Man, the intro too long. The
Right.
intro too long. I wish you would just come on. People are impatient, especially on with the tutorials. People just want to see like,
Oh
hurry
yeah.
up and show me what I gotta do, man.
Right.
I already been frustrated 2-3 hours. I need to get to where my problem is, and I need to
Right.
fix it. You know what I'm saying? So I had this little video showing all of those stuff I was doing. Yeah, man, that joker was trying to hit it. Oh, hold on. Am I echoing?
Oh no, you good on my end.
Oh, okay. I thought I was echoing something. Uh, yeah, I'm echoing. Mic check, mic check.
Yeah, it sounds good over here.
Uh, yeah, I got an echo on it somehow, but we'll fight through it.
Yep.
We gonna try. We gonna try. But yeah, man, they was complaining about that echo. I meant that long intro, man. And so when I got on that outro, I was just, I don't know, it just came natural, man. I don't know. I just, I didn't want to make it. I didn't want to make it long. It just, pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.
Right.
We out of there.
We are.
So.
Yeah, when I was talking to you earlier, I was like, man, don't change that, man. I get a laugh out of that. The intro and the outro. It's always. I was like, man, that's like a signature. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That I was like, man, maybe I need to say what. And see how sensitive I am to the people.
Come on.
Just because you said something, I was like, maybe I need to change it up a little bit. But I had 10 of them things coming out like that. I was like, let me I'll be trying to cater. I'll be trying to cater to my listeners.
Oh yeah. So, they be complaining about
Yeah.
you talking too much in them videos.
Yeah, you seen it? Joe, you
And
talking
they
too
get to
much,
the
man.
video. They talk 5, 10 minutes, and the video ain't number 3 minutes. You didn't talk 10.
Oh man, I gotta learn how to put the markers in there so you can just go straight to the video, man.
Come on now.
Yeah, but yeah, I be talking because I be rehearsing stuff. So I be trying to, I'll watch the video first and then say
Right.
what I gotta say, and I've been, So yeah, I get to talking now. I get to talking. I'll make it 2 hours, 3 hours. I'll make it 10 minutes before I play that video, but I don't be trying to. I I be trying to keep them videos under 20 minutes. That be the goal
Right.
every time I walk up there and I cut
Right.
that microphone on. I be trying to keep it under 20 minutes. But the spirit don't be working like that. Sometimes the spirit just have me,
Come on.
stuff just
Yeah.
end up happening, man. You know how them pastors used to be like, man, I ain't gonna keep you long, and then you end up
Man,
keeping.
that'd be 3-4 hours later.
Yeah. But yeah, and on closing too, man, with the unity thing, man, I just want everybody to know the camps ain't. It's not. If you agree with those brothers and what they're saying, that's just YouTube. As far as the brotherhood and the fellowship, you gonna mix with who you mix with. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't click. Some people personalities just don't click. Some
Right.
people tell jokes in a manner to somebody else is offensive. But the
Come on.
brother just telling the joke to him, that's just how he joke around. And all of these dynamics are gonna be there no matter what group of people you try to put together. We all got different backgrounds, and just don't go in with a expectation of, oh, I'm just gonna go in and we just family. That ain't how it works. We gonna go in and everybody gonna just love me. Yeah, they gonna greet you, but that don't mean they like you.
Come on.
They ain't just
Come
gonna
on.
like you like that. Everybody
Right.
don't like everybody. You know what I'm saying? We deal with each other. You know how we deal with each other, but it don't take you to say something slick or you gonna get offended. Sister put you on baked potato on potato salad, and the potato salad wasn't hitting right. They gonna say something.
Right.
And that'd be just enough to get somebody to, I'm gonna get my husband. We finna get up out of here.
Right. Come on. Yeah. Pack it up.
They disrespectful.
Right.
So y'all gotta understand that, man. We just not, we ain't good people to be around. To be 100, man. We gotta be in there mortifying ourselves, man.
Yeah.
Cutting your tongue a little bit on certain stuff, man. Talking to people, man. Hey, man, you offended by this or you offended by that, but there gonna be counsels, there gonna be situations that people gonna say, and then you still have to be there. You have a situation with that person, you still there. Y'all, you don't want to leave because of this one person.
Right.
And y'all on the other side of the room and side eyeing each other.
Yeah.
Or sister wanted a man, or brother wanted a sister, and then another brother got the sister, and some bitterness with that, man. It's a lot of things, it's a lot of issues that keep this thing not looking at what you got to go in with a realistic view.
Right.
Do not think this thing is just rainbows and lollipops and you just finna jump in here and everybody gonna be skipping around in a circle, man.
Right.
Don't think that. It don't take you to skip one time wrong and then somebody upset, man.
Come on.
Y'all in there talking about what's that song they singing now? Where them fans at? Y'all in there trying to do the little Lance dance from one of the festivals. You ain't even do the dance right.
Right.
Now it's a beef.
Yeah,
Now it's beef. Somebody didn't come in, supposed to be checking the door. The person who's supposed to be the doorman this week didn't come in. You had to be the doorman 2 weeks in a row. Now you offended.
Right.
Now you bringing the brother in on counsel. Like it's a lot of things to unity that we have to. Yeah. We have to be able to hash out, y'all. It's a very complex. It's not a simple thing. So don't get discouraged because you see some of these things. You see, it's just, man, we listen. We still sick. All of us still sick, man. And we need that blood, and we need that grace. And we have to give each other that grace too. We have to show each other that mercy also. Yeah, you gotta reckon. What's the word? Reciprocity. Reciprocity of the kingdom, and you gotta get that back. If you want that from him, you got to get that. So we gotta understand that, man. That's the main thing I see out of a lot of people who join camps is they have an expectation of, I'm finna find my best friend. I'm finna find the brothers I'm finna hang with the rest of my life, and that's probably not the case. That may be the case for them three over there. They clicked up heavy, but they may not want you when they click, and it ain't nothing offensive. It's just you don't really click up. We don't really
right.
We ain't got the same kind of, we don't like the same things. You don't like sports.
Come on.
All you want to talk about is doing making candles. I don't know. You just different,
They
bro.
make
You
it candles.
different,
Right, right,
and you
right,
still my brother. But
right.
I click a little better with them. But you know that I'm saying it's very complex, y'all. Very complex. And just a joke can get a brother offended to the point where he done left the camp and started doing videos on how horrible the camp is. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a lot
and
of
so we
that.
just got to keep that in mind, man. I yield with that up, man. I appreciate you bringing me on, brother. Appreciate the work you do, man. You definitely had to get your flowers. Also, I said, man, I was at you see me. I was at 300 subscribers. Before the Dow situation, Pastor Rubens put me on, and Ringo put me on. Um, so and I was there. I was at the 300 subscribers for 8 years. Yeah,
Right, time.
trying to get E4 what they need.
Right.
But what
Yeah.
they need and what they want is two different
The
things.
same.
I
Yeah.
had to learn that. I had to learn that what they need and what they want are two different things. What they need, they don't really want. They don't.
Right.
They don't want that. It's hard for them to sit still. And what they need, you gotta put them in. Like you've been doing. Put them in the little short. The little short. I gotta learn how to do that. I gotta learn how to put the little. I gotta make the
Right.
shorts. I gotta make more of the shorts and make these
Shalom,
short
brother.
lessons, man. And to feed them with that. But yeah, man, I'm grateful for you, brother. Grateful for the work that you do, man. And glad that you
All
asked me
praise to the
on.
Most High, man. It's
All
all praise
praise.
to the Most High. And like you say, yeah, it is it's a need and a want, as far as Israel and uh, shalom, shalom to the message sent, brother Nick, man, shalom, my brother. Glad to see you in here, and you know, how the Most High just finding my lane. That's just one thing, I can just say, if anybody, if the Most High is moving you to, start your journey online, just finding your lane. That's one thing I had to learn and not try to be like everybody else. You know what I mean? Find my lane. This is where the Most High has me at, and just stay there. And stay there until if the Most High moves me to something else. And all praises. It's like it took a while for me to even start to you know having people on and different things like that. It's
Right.
because I want everything to be organic. And that's I don't want it to be like I'm just doing it just to stay relevant or to be seen. And I truly do have a heart for the people and for what I didn't came out of, man. This healing and deliverance. I believe that's pretty much the ministry that he has given me, and that's where a lot of my messages and different things come from, and personal experiences, and and then it's like you, my brother, like like I was telling you, man, it is needed. We need to be knowing what's going on with the breakdowns and different doctrines, and you know, uh, how the Most High, man, has given you, man, a gift to, teach. You know what I mean? And I really believe that, man. And that's something that I was like, man, I've been following this brother, man, and you be seeing me in the comments,
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. All
uh,
praise.
and yeah, man, it's an honor, man, to have you on, my brother, man. I salute you, man, for the work that you're putting in and your labor of love, man, and
And
you
all
know,
praise to the Most High, man.
it's definitely it's not going unnoticed. I know for sure, and uh, it definitely was a blessing to have you on here, man. And before we get out of here, man, can you let everybody know where you can be found and your YouTube page?
Yeah, you can find me at Prince of Power. Prince of Power on Israel. I mean, Prince of Power on YouTube. And Phinehas 144 on TikTok. I do have some messages there also. I got to get better at the TikTok and put some more stuff up there. But um, yeah, you can definitely find me on those two platforms. Um, Phinehas 144 on TikTok and Prince of Power on YouTube. Prince of Power.
All right, yes, sir, man. It's a blessing, man, to have you on, man, my brother. Man, continue to put in that work, man, for the Kingdom Rock, and man, you got my support, and I just appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. It's another edition of Can We Talk and Not Talk? Brother Chris and my brother Phinehas, Prince of Power, and Man, I would do what my brother say. And I pray this thing been edifying, man. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.